My name is Addison Medlin, and I'm here to inform you of the history and also the fundamentals of the creator's game, also known as lacrosse. So, lacrosse was invented by the Native Americans, and they used lacrosse as a form of competition between different tribes, and they would host like games, if you would like to call it, and they would play for the creator or their god that they believed in. So, and they're also the inventor of the first lacrosse stick and lacrosse ball, which was made out of leather, like animal skin, and then they put a bunch of stuff like dirt, mud, clay into a ball, wrapped in animal skin and fur and stuff, and then they sewed it up to make the first lacrosse ball. For a stick, they would cut down trees, typically like oak trees, and then they would cut it down to a long shaft, like about up to your hip, and then they would make the lacrosse shaft. Then they would bend sticks into a smaller U shape and then weave twigs and sometimes different yarns and stuff like that to make the mesh of the lacrosse stick, which would nowadays look like this. Lacrosse really started off getting big up north, which is like in New England, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Virginia, up there, and then it has grown to the southern regions, Texas, Atlanta, or Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, all those states. So the first part of lacrosse, really, and that's a score goal, is to shoot the ball. So when you shoot the ball, you'll have a ball in your stick. It's a big rubber ball, and you'll have it in the pocket of your lacrosse stick, which is this part right here. So then you'll have that in your stick secured, and then when you want to shoot it, you're going to move your dominant hand, whatever your dominant hand is, right or left, to the middle of the lacrosse shaft, which is this, and then you'll have your opposite hand at the end, towards the butt end, which is this. So you'll have your hand there. So then you pull the lacrosse stick back over your dominant shoulder, and you're going to release it like a catapult would. So you take it here, and then when you're about to shoot, you look where you're going to shoot it, and then you release like a catapult would do this. So the next part of the fundamentals of lacrosse with the stick work is catching. So catching is a little bit different. When you have a ball thrown to you, you want to slide your dominant hand, whichever way you're holding it, up to the top of the lacrosse head, which is this part, and then you want to put your opposite hand towards the bottom. So then you're going to look at wherever that ball is being thrown from, you're going to look at the ball, and then you want to aim the very front part of your stick right at the ball, and when you catch it, you want to give a little bit so it doesn't pop out. Because if you're stiff and rigid with it, it'll just hit and pop back out. So you want to be light, and when the ball hits your stick, you bring it back. So that's how to catch a ball. Shooting the ball, or throwing the ball, passing, as they would call it, is you have the ball in your stick. So say you just caught the ball, you're here. The ball's in your stick, you're in the catching position. You want to then, similarly to shooting, slide your dominant hand, whichever hand that may be, back down to the middle, or relatively around the middle of the shaft. And then you want to place your opposite hand towards the butt end again. You want to, if you're standing still, you'll put your opposite foot out of what your dominant hand is. And then you're going to pull back the same way you're going to shoot, but you use less power. So you pull back, aim with the butt end part of your stick wherever you're going to throw it, and just lightly have the ball roll out of your stick into your teammate. So I've gone over passing, shooting, and catching, which are one of the three main fundamentals of lacrosse.